Well, good morning, and good morning. How you doing? It is Tuesday morning, May 19th, 2020, and I am still Lauren Michaels Harris. I tell you what, how are you? How are things in your neck of the woods? Welcome to today's show. Man, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because next week, or is it later this week? I'm not sure. Coming up soon, going to be some really nice weather here in the Chicagoland area. Thank you, Jesus. I like the rain and stuff, but when you can't get out and we're still quarantined here in Illinois and sheltering in place and all that, sometimes you just look forward to getting out on your bike or walking in the sunlight. But, we make the best of it, right? Like starting here today, starting our day off together. That's why I count on you guys so much, and you mean so much to me. You know what? Let me move this. My husband got on me about having my camera facing the stairway when he comes prancing downstairs in his bathrobe. And so he goes, it's not that kind of a show. So maybe it needs to be. No, I'm kidding. Listen, did you hear that? You know what that is? That is the bell of purpose. For those of you who haven't been around for during season 4, this is new to season 4. And what it is, it's your chance to become a part of something bigger than yourself. So what this means is when I hit the bell, something came out of our guest's mouth that we're like, okay, can I give me my church fan, which I have handy, so we can get an amen session going up in here. It means that this is something to listen to. This is a great idea. This is a great golden point. Don't just sprint by it. Slow down and jog with it. Okay. The bell of purpose. Brand new to season 4. Also help me welcome to the show my sidekick, my best gal. I'm reading her autobiography right now. Got it for Valentine's Day. Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, one of the most brilliant people to ever walk the earth. That's the truth. Read her story. You'll be shocked. Let me just tell you this off topic. Did you all know that Lucy was responsible for inventing and still holds the patent on, the 3-camera technique of filming, like you see on TV and in movies and, soap operas when they cut from this person to that person? Before Lucy invented that camera, it was like on The Honeymooners. One camera facing the stage and people just walked on and off, but the camera never moved and went anywhere. So Lucy came up with the 3-camera technique of filming. That's just one of the many things. She's a brilliant person, not just a comedian. So there you go, Lucy plug shamelessly today. And also I can do that because it's live TV and they can't edit it. We're live streaming across Facebook, YouTube, Roku, Android, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and of course from our home base, E360 TV out in Phoenix, Arizona. I bet there's a lot of sunshine out there this morning, or soon will be. So anyway, good morning to all my pals over at symposium.us, and thank you so much for sponsoring Bathrobe Moments. Symposium.us, where you can turn your conversation into currency. I know because I've done it over 20 some times myself. Get over there, whatever you're good at. If you teach fitness classes like today's guest, you could do that over there and make a little money. Extra income is important right now for a lot of people. So if you do anything, you can teach people how to paint pictures, vision boards, babysitting techniques, tutoring kids, story time for kids, all things instructional. If you want to just get on there and read your book to people, have a book club, an audio book club, you could do it. Get creative. But first, in order to see an opportunity, you got to get in there and look for it. So get over, download the app today at Google Play or the Google App Store, and start turning your cell phone into a payphone. Symposium.us. Today's guest, Shartia, not Sharita. I know you're going to see it on the screen. And like me, it took me 22 times before I finally got it right in my head because, I am known for an early string of there's one right now. Senior moment. Don't play. They're going to come for you too. Quit playing. You're going to walk into a room with your glasses up here talking about, where are my glasses? But at least hopefully you won't have that one that I had last summer where I was talking to Aaron, the president of E360 TV, on the phone, frantically walking around the house for almost 40 minutes looking for the phone I was talking on. That one scared me. I almost had to go get some kind of supplement, garlic or something, some ginseng. I don't know, ginseng for something else. But anyway, Shartia Divine. Okay, Miss Divine, Shartia Divine. I'd be like, I could just see what people said, I think should I call myself Shartia Glory? No, that's too pretentious. Shartia the Great? No, I don't like that either. I know Shartia Divine because it rhymes with things like fine, like wine in the summertime. I know what she was up to. I already know. So anyway, her goal is to inspire, enlighten, and encourage people. So that makes it divine in my book, and I'm gonna let you be the judge of that yourself. She majored in college in communications, and she holds a certificate in television and radio broadcasting. She's a professional host. We're going to talk about that today. She dances, she teaches fitness classes, and she's the author of the book Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story. Love that title, and I'm sure you're going to love her. So let's get her in here. Everybody, help me welcome. Let's get some hearts on the screen. It's not going to kill you, and it's free. Shartia Divine. Hello.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited.
You are, and
I
you
am
just can't
very
hide it.
excited. I cannot. And you just absolutely have me cracking up back here, laughing at your jokes. It's just, you're funny. You're hilarious.
Oh,
Yes.
oh. Well, you know, mornings aren't easy for everybody. But
Yeah.
my husband is always like, "How can you have so much energy? How come you're so giddy in the morning?" You know, that's why I think they used to spike my milk and stuff when I was little, because you know people be trying to wake up slow, like with they Sanka and all that, and I was all over the house. So I've always been that way, but I'm glad. And I'm glad to be here with you. Welcome to the show. You're a first timer. And I'm really glad. Welcome everybody. They're coming in.
Yes,
Let's see who we have here today. Now I wonder why there's a delay with you. Do you have two things open by chance? Shartia, do you have something else open with a microphone?
I do.
Like, are you watching the show on your phone or something?
No, I'm not. I am not watching the show on my phone.
Okay. Because I want you to do me a favor.
Sure.
I want you to go out and come back in.
Okay.
That's something that's in the airwaves or whatever, but we don't want you looking like a one of them Japanese movies where they turn it to American. So
okay.
You know, nothing matches.
Sure. Let me.
Yeah, go on, come back in.
Okay.
So she'll be right back, everybody. Good morning, Robert Brooker, Karen Johnston. Karen says good morning to everybody. Robert says, hey, Lucy. And Antoine Sims, the aliens finally brought you back. I haven't seen you in a month of Sunday. Oh, you and your wife look so good in that picture. She makes you look good. I'm just saying, Antoine, keep it real. You know, that's why you married her. And one of my besties, Shelly Dale, good morning to you. So we're here today. Our guest, it looks like she's back. Now let's cross our fingers, send up a prayer. Now, Shartia?
Yes. Is this better?
Say something.
Is this better?
It is. I don't know what the heck that is. It is delaying. You're speaking and then it's coming like a second later. But that'll help me shut my mouth more so it can catch up. So I'm not talking on top of you talking. And I don't want people to think you're possessed. So I'll keep telling people what's going on as the hour goes by. Strange things. Hey, that's live TV in the internet world. Everybody knows is bumper to bumper right now since we've been under this pandemic. But we're going to move it on anyway. First thing that I want to talk about this morning is probably the most important thing of all. Seriously, because inquiring minds want to know. And, you know, I looked through all of your social media and your website and everything. Very impressive. But you got to talk about one thing first, and that is this purple dress. You know, you ought to be shaming yourself. I'm just saying. You didn't need no balloons, nothing else. And look how she's cocking that hip out there, y'all. Huh? And whoever was taking pictures, you know, he was stuck. I know it was a man taking pictures. It was a man, wasn't it?
Yes.
I know. He was like,
yes.
He probably got that picture up in his room at home. I'm just saying, you might want to check that out. Anyway, gorgeous dress, and I'm assuming that is you. That is you doing your hosting.
Yes, that is me hosting. And when people hire me, that is actually how I started. I wanted to brand myself in a different type of fashion. So when I saw people hosting, I didn't really see anything that stood out, so to speak.
Mhm.
Of course, their personalities, and they were very good, but I wanted to do something where when someone hired me, they knew what they were going to get. They knew that I was going to be dressed to the nines and host to my greatest ability. So not only were you getting me and my personality, but you were also getting, an outfit that would celebrate
Well,
your occasion because I
well,
dress for the occasion.
and they always made that a big deal with Vanna on what was that show where they would flip those letters?
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. They
Yeah,
always mentioned what she was wearing. It was always a
absolutely.
big deal that she was known for those gowns, this and that. So yeah. So let's answer this question for somebody because I was just speaking about symposium.us and the need for people to secure additional streams of income in this current climate that we
Yes,
find ourselves dealing with. Because you don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't care if they are letting us go back to the hairdresser and this and the other. We still got that fall hump
yes,
coming that
yes,
they're telling us could be. So I just think it's better to plan ahead. And so if a person even I think people I know, I just hired two of them actually, a guy and a girl for a television special, and they're moderating, which is really like hosting. They're the
yes.
ones throwing the questions out to the rest of the panel, this and
Mhm.
the other. And so there's still business for people who do that. But
Yes,
what's the difference? Explain to us. What's the difference between hosting and emceeing, or are they the same thing?
that is an extremely good question. Okay, so people interchange hosting and emceeing, but there is a difference. Hosting could be you are the person that has purchased the contract for the event. You're hosting it. You want your name on it. You want your brand on it. That's your event. So a
Oh.
lot of times you'll see hosted by, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's who's emceeing or who will be helping to control the audience and
Mm.
engage the audience. When I say MC, now that is when you're on the microphone. That is when you're basically in charge of the time. To me, that's one of the key factors. When I MC weddings and when I'm speaking with clients, that is the main thing that we talk about is I am going to keep us on time, no matter what happens, no matter
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
surprises happen up. That's my job to make it seem seamless. So that is the job of the MC, to keep the crowd engaged, to help everyone feel amazing and wonderful. My motto is I want people to feel better when they leave than when they arrived. And as long as that happens, I'm totally 100% happy. So to me, that's the difference. Now, the other difference that I offer, so I say host and MC because I
Hmm.
actually help my guests coordinate. If they're willing to allow me to be there in the moments with them during the bridal party and during the dinners and things like that. It helps me develop that relationship. So that
Hmm.
way when I MC the event, I have more of a connection. I can tell a story. I can connect with the
Hmm.
bridal party and everyone and provide details as to what's happened. So there is a difference. I believe sometimes hosts simply pop up for a
Hmm.
show because if they're, celebrities.
Hmm.
For me, I'm there the whole time, start to finish, an hour before, an hour after, sometimes
Right.
more. Mhm.
Well, what you don't know is before I entered this industry, I
Mhm.
actually I sold that business to start this business, and for 26 years, I owned a firm, an event planning firm called start and I had a catering division called Worth the Wait, but the event
Ooh,
planning was Events by Design. And yeah,
okay.
26 years we did that.
Wow.
26 years. And so I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
And a lot of detail and timing is the key in all things. So let
Yes.
me ask you how, because see, this is something I've been wondering about. We're heading into heavy what would traditionally be a heavy wedding season.
Yes.
April, May, June. And
Mhm.
I don't know what people are going to do about weddings. I mean, if you're planning on 500 people and you got a social distance 6 to 8 feet apart, I don't know how people are going to pull that off. What about the dance floor? What about,
Mhm.
that's the thing about a great wedding reception, having everybody all crammed in at those rounds, 8 to 10 people at a table and,
Yes.
scooting through and, and it, because those are very intimate things. I feel really bad. I feel bad for the kids that aren't getting to graduate, and it's just, and no prom and no senior class trip, and it's just a shame. But I'm sure God's got some blessings in store for everybody that thinks they're missing out on something down the road. So, but how do you feel? How does that affect you now? Because you have another gig. You have you're in real estate, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So has this pandemic stopped people from buying homes?
Absolutely not, actually,
That's
because
what somebody else told me.
yes, because it is definitely a buyer's market. So what's happening is that the portion about the distancing and the cleanliness factor, that part we have to, of course, take more extreme measures. But other than that, people are still getting pre-approved, looking for homes. I have 2 clients now looking for a home. With relation to the season that you spoke about, the wedding season, even my questions have to change now, because I have someone who believes that their wedding is going forth in July. And so now I'm asking the questions, well, what's going to happen if it is not, able to occur due to the government saying absolutely not? What would happen if more guests show up? What's going to happen? I'm asking all these questions. How are they serving food now? How, I'm asking different questions as a preliminary
Better.
So that has definitely been affected. I've missed probably 10 events by now since this has happened.
Yep. Oh, don't even talk about it. My speaking engagement started getting canceled about 2 weeks into the virus. And it was so interesting to me. Here's how I knew it was something going on, because I had a government event to speak at here in the Capitol in Illinois, in Springfield, scheduled for August 5th. They were one of the first 3 to cancel. I was like, how y'all gonna cancel something way in August? That's when I was like, something I knew, because they know.
They definitely know.
Quit playing. You already know. They know first. What's that? Get out of the town. Did you say we should go underground? Nuclear what? Right. And you'd be like, Carol, where you going, girl? Carol, where's she going? I don't care where she's going. I'm right behind her.
Right. The underground tunnel that they have.
Right. Anybody that works in politics, I keep me a couple.
Absolutely.
It used back in the day, I always made sure I knew a bank teller. Girl, I'm telling you, this check good. Just cash it. Ain't no wrong with that. Look, I know that Mary Swanson doesn't sound like a black name, but for real, she wrote it. I'm playing right. Oh my goodness, I'm just kidding. Hi, Crystal Crockett. Crockett's here.
Hi,
Crystal. She's a prior guest. She's great. She has a wonderful 501 nonprofit for women of color in the South Side of Chicago, helping them transition and stay off the streets. Crystal, I love you. Hey, Crystal, call me and let me know if you guys got that refrigerator yet. I want to know.
You know what? I'd love to speak with her too.
You should.
Yes.
She's a wonderful person. Good morning to my friend Tea Leaves Parker. I'm on baby duty today, so I may not be here the whole time. I feel you. Get one of those belly things in. Yeah, for me, I love doing that to babies. And to the rest of you, welcome. If you've just joined us, we're here today with Shartia Devine, and she is dedicated and committed to inspiring, enlightening, and encouraging people through all of her different brands. And we were just talking about, she's also a realtor. I believe you were Caldwell Banker, right?
Yes.
And so she's saying that, it's a buyer's market. So you might want to look into that if you got a few extra coins laying around. And you do things like dancing and fitness. We saw by proof in the purple dress, you are in impeccable shape. Now, let me ask you about that. How's that been going? You need to get over to symposium.us.
I wrote that down for sure.
And do some workout classes for people, and they pay as they go, and this, that, and other. Yeah, perfect for you. And we were also talking about how Shartia is a professional host, and a lot of those things have been canceled, and what we're doing instead. But where I'm trying to hurry up and sprint over to. I want you to tell us about your background. And I see you're having some issues pixelating, so it's something's going on with you all's internet today, but we can still hear you clearly. It's the message that matters the most, and as long as we can hear you, we're going to go forward. So I want you to you preface the book. We're going to end there, but I want you to start with the lead-in story about where you were born and raised and what brought you to writing this book, Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story. Now, Jones happens to be Shartia's last name, so there's a tie in there, which I'm sure she'll explain. But tell us about your background and then lead us up to the front door of this wonderful book. Morning,
Sure.
honey.
So it was always put on me that I needed to do something more in my life. My parents were married and they divorced at about the age, I was about 7. I was born in Chicago. Once my parents divorced, my mother moved to Palatine. I was actually raised in Palatine, first grade through 12th grade. And when they got divorced, I just felt like I had to surround myself with school and activities so that I didn't have to really deal with whatever was happening. Because honestly, at the age of 7, I really didn't know how to process all of that anyway. One minute, my family's together, the next minute they're not. And I'm an hour away in a completely different culture trying to get used to life. So I missed out on some things. My father was involved in my life, but not on that day-to-day interaction, so to speak. So I didn't get the Band-Aid from my dad, it's going to be okay. I didn't get the you're beautiful every day from my father. I didn't get, some of those things that women need to know, a door should be held for me. So, just a lot of things that I didn't necessarily know. I grew up trying to fill a void that I learned that I could never fill without me understanding who I was and falling in love with myself from that point.
So let me ask you.
Sure.
Okay, so you were the only child in the house
Yes.
as your parents the marriage started to kind of disintegrate.
Yes.
And so did you overhear things? I mean, did you hear arguments? And I'm just saying, what I'm getting at is you were by yourself. And, I know I was one of them little kids. I knew everything. You know how they think you don't know anything and you know all of it. I mean, because it wasn't like I was really in bed sleeping like they thought. I was looking through the keyhole, had a glass up to the door, all that, Right. So, but I mean, kids, y'all all know. Y'all do too.
Right.
So, so were you like a daddy's little girl prior to the breakup of the marriage?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
Okay. And so after he left, he moved out of the house.
Yeah, well, we moved to Palatine. My mother.
You and your mom left and left him in the house.
Right. Well,
so everything changed for you, not just the fact that he's gone, but the place you wake up and go to sleep to changed, and all your circle of friends and everything.
Everything. I mean, a complete culture shock. And to this day, I thank my mom, though, one of the best decisions ever. It enabled me to become an amazingly well-rounded person, to lack judgment of others, to not see color, see heart, to not see circumstance, to see heart, to really just care about the person. And I thank my mom every day for that. Because at first I didn't want to go.
I'm sure you didn't. Yeah. Who I would have laid down kicking and screaming.
Yes.
Holding on to trees and stuff. Now,
Yes.
But what about this? They say that at least we hear this, that little girls grow up looking for a mate, a spouse, a significant other that's just like daddy. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Did that happen with you? Did you look for, did you find yourself attracted to men that kind of seemed like they were somewhat like dad?
Absolutely. And I believe that's where the trying to fill the void came in. He wasn't there. So I need someone who is strong. I need someone who is going to have a great work ethic. I need someone who's going to love me. And trying to force those relationships or force that situation upon people wasn't healthy. And I ended up trying to satisfy everyone else, trying to people please, trying to reach for love where it wasn't, accepting things that I shouldn't have accepted, and just really ultimately ending up with low self-esteem and not knowing who I was.
So did you feel like you were having bad relationships early on in your adulthood because of that? So is that what you're saying? holding up, guys had big shoes to fill and didn't even know they were in that race.
Yes, I think that's twofold, though. I think it's that situation, but also, did I really even know what I was looking for?
Oh,
Because
good
I really
point.
didn't have that constant example. So was the example I had in my head even what I should have been looking for, and with that, just accepting less than my worth, just dealing with situations that I should have not been dealing with or accepting. And I don't say that to blame at all, because
Yeah.
we can always say my circumstances brought me to this. And yes, this is true, but the healing is our responsibility. Things that happened, they happen. But the healing part, the part that we need to own, is that now we can make choices. Now we can make better decisions. But that is going to come with taking the time to be alone when I
Mhm.
stand being alone, taking the time
Oh,
to love myself, to be alone and to be able to handle the thoughts that come up, and then to remind myself that those are thoughts, to acknowledge those, and then to put something positive in that space and to be
right.
intentional with it.
That's a great point, and that's actually something that a lot of people are just realizing now during this pandemic. A lot of people, I've
Mm.
had a lot of people here on the show, and a lot of people just in passing that have admitted now that they really did not know that they have a problem or an issue or a challenge with spending time with just themselves.
Yes.
And it's so very important. And so that's a great point that you bring.
Thank you.
And I want to, the reason I'm intrigued by your story, and when I was looking into bringing you in as a guest, that was the thing that really sealed the deal with me, was in our culture, in cultures of color, brown and black, so in the Spanish population as well as the black population, not but really in the African American, primarily there, where dads are absentee. They're just they're not there in a lot of cases. And then to have had one, had an example of a marriage, a mom and dad living under the same roof, and then to lose it. I thought it was great that you speak to that, because a lot of black women, little black girls, only have moms, grandmamas, and aunties. They might have an uncle that comes around on Sundays dressed in a suit and a hat and looking all good. Everybody's got that uncle, the one that ends up living upstairs in your house. Shut up, Uncle Pete. Remember Uncle Pete?
The one that never leaves.
Right, the one who never leaves. Right. But as far as that father figure, that one who, even fathers that just pop in once in a blue moon in a little black girl's life, to her rather, the sun rises and falls on him.
Yes.
Right. So when I get it in your title, when you say a true love Joan, what is it? A true love Joan story.
Yes.
So, okay. So how long did it take you to start realizing, I'm going to need to do something to fix this thing in me? And did you got married, right?
Yes, I did. I did.
Are you? So how did that turn out?
We're divorced, but we are the best of friends. Honestly.
The best of friends.
We are co-parenting extremely well. We have an 11-year-old, and he really is an amazing person. So we co-parent well.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's a blessing. Woo, that's a good one. So do you have a boy or a girl?
I have a son.
You have a son.
Yes.
Okay. So do you talk to him? Do you find yourself talking to him about the importance of growing up to be a good dad, a good father, a good husband, and those things?
Absolutely. And his father takes on that role as well. As a matter of fact, he's with him now. We kind of give him a break between homes with what's happening so he doesn't get, bored, and it can help him. But we actually also have him in counseling. I knew I don't want him to experience what I experienced, and maybe I just didn't know how to process it. So he's in counseling just to ensure that he is getting professional assistance if needed.
That's a great one.
Yes. So
I'm married to a therapist, and I hear the benefits all the time, and how he says that he wishes more parents were, more people. Not just, just more people.
Yes.
I don't know what people find so difficult about admitting that they need some counseling or something. If you really watch Dynasty, Alexis Colby Carrington bragged about herself going to therapy all the time. Absolutely. I don't have time. I have a therapy appointment. Yes. It was like, you going to therapy, girl? You living a life, right? Because if we need to do something, sometimes we have to do the hard thing, and that's get outside of ourselves, bring in a pair of fresh eyes and ears to fix something.
Yes, and someone who's non-judgmental and who actually
yeah
prepared for this. They went to school for it. They can do that. And not only that, I've been to therapy a couple of times in my life, and
I go now.
Yes, and therapists need therapists. So what would make, you know, I just wish, just like you said, that we didn't have such a dark view of what that meant, you know, because what I think people think it means is you go to therapy, you're crazy. And
Right.
it's like, no, actually it helps you from becoming, from losing.
Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have students. I also work at a high school. Middle school, and I have students, and I have to tell them my transparent story all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, even when I was in school, I saved my math classes for last, because math, we have to date closely if I'm going to be successful. And I told them I was in my teacher's office hours every single day. I earned that A. I was in there every day. I sat in the front of the class. When you understand that you have something about yourself that you need to pay more attention to, give it the attention it needs.
Amen. Amen.
You know,
you guys, let me get in here real quick. You guys, I want you to, now's a great time. We're just beyond the halfway point of the interview. So if you've come in since the beginning, you're going to want to go back and watch the replay to pick up what we left on the stage for you. And for those of you just now coming in, now's a great time for everyone to share this out, invite a few people for the last few laps of the interview. Some great stuff coming up. We're going to have Shartia here in just a second. Give us a little taste of some of the content from inside her book, which is entitled Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story. So you're not going to want to miss that. And I just want to say there's some stuff I want to, Lori Whitney says hello, and she agrees with what you're saying. And Crystal Crockett says, give, I guess that's your name.
Yes, that's okay. I'm just saying all kind of ways, Crystal.
Right. Give Shartia my contact info. So remind me when we get finished here to pull that up, and I'll shoot it over to you. For sure. And then Lori says, that's a nice self-admission. I could use it myself. And that's another thing, Lori. You see how you put LOL? We're talking about counseling. And then, or a lot of people feel like they got to kind of go in case people are going, what? You go, I'm just kidding. You know, I'm playing, you know, at the end of it, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. The smart is the person, brilliant actually is the person that if they have some unresolved anything or something that just doesn't make sense, go and get someone's opinion. Shelley Dale says, love it. My ex-husband. Was-band. Yeah, and I are great friends and parents. We all went to therapy after our divorce. Yeah. See, even after divorce.
Yes.
My grown children still talk about how much that helped them, and that being therapy.
Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation.
That's right. And my husband stood in the doorway just now in the kitchen and went, thank you, because he is so such a champion of it. And people just are so afraid of it. I don't understand, but I'm gonna tell you too, a lot of us start thinking about doing that sort of thing, especially even it's like a group thing, group therapy, or something, going to a group. Because of PTSD, we're all sticking in a pocket here, hiding it in a drawer there. When we finally are ever completely through this thing, which I don't think we will ever be completely through it.
I feel the same.
Right. You know, we're going to need to understand how to process a lot of things, especially the new normal. So all we're saying is consider getting yourself some therapy, counseling if you need it. I go every Monday. Good morning, Bradley Rickman. How are you from Michigan? Good to see you back with us. So anyway, you guys, so you have a copy of your book handy, and we wanted to talk about that. And I'm going to drop in after we get done listening to this excerpt that Shartia is going to share with us. I'm going to make sure I put her link up, and that link will take you to her page, her website, her landing page, all of those good things where she'll tell you where to click to get redirected to get yourself a copy of this book. So here it is. It's Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story. There's our wedding colors on the front. So you made another fan right here. You got another from using purple. And so what do you got? Give us a taste of what's inside this thing.
Sure. I didn't know who I was because I lost my soul by taking on everyone else's. I was so used to helping other people achieve their happiness that I had no clue on what would actually make me happy. That specific one is at the beginning of one of my chapters that I title The New Beginning. And that is one of the defining moments when everything changed for me.
You know what? My one question that is in my mind that I just need to get it out there. Now, your father, is he still in your life?
He is, and our relationship is so much better. It is absolutely amazing.
Is it better as a result of the book, or is that what you're saying? So much better, as if it weren't at one time, but now it is. Did
Yeah,
the book help that?
it did. It definitely helped.
Now, was it the writing of the book on your part, or the reading of the book on his part, or a combination thereof?
It was a combination of both. I actually, when I started writing it, I was extremely angry with my father, and I
Ooh.
hand wrote it, and then I typed it, and then I edited it. So, and once he read it, by the time I made it to the end, it ended up being a love letter. Like I have an actual love letter to my dad in there because I felt like we didn't know each other. And so when we came together, it was a combative state of, I think when he left, that's the age he felt like I was. So no matter how grown I was or how much older I was getting, I was still a little girl. I was still not being respected for my thoughts and the different things that I was trying to do. So we would combat. But by the end of the story, the love that he has for my son, the love that he shares and the relationship he has with him. In my book, I even state if I have to give up everything that I went through all over again just to watch them two grow and love each other the way they do, I do it in a heartbeat.
Wow. Let me ask you. I'm writing down a note that I want to tell you later. So a lot of people now, it's obvious it worked for you, and I wish more people would do it. When we tell our stories, however, whatever format we use, whatever genre, road that we drag it down, we need to drag it down a road to get it out instead of stuffing it down. Now, the healing obviously began or continued because you wrote this book. But speak to this point. A lot of people are afraid to write books that speak to family issues, especially Black folk. You know what go on in this house, stay in this house. Don't be telling our business all out there in the streets, So and a lot of people are afraid to either eat, not just with people but people who are alive, to talk about people who are alive. And a lot of people are afraid to say anything about someone who's passed on because it might destroy people's memory or whatever of them. But the truth is the truth. So talk about that. Did you have any challenges, or did you question yourself and say, no, I better not write this? It's going to piss everybody off. Everybody in family going to be like, why are you talking about, fill in the blank like that? Or am I in it? I remember when I have a niece who wrote a book and everybody was calling around when the book came out, and they were like, well, you in the book too. I was like, I am. Yeah, your name in there is Gary. And I was like,
you in the book.
What? Because you're scared, because you don't know what they're gonna tell. So did you deal with that? Did you feel like maybe I shouldn't do this because it's gonna piss off people in my family? How did that play out for you?
I definitely experienced a lot of that. I procrastinated a lot because of that. I should have released my book a year before it was released because of that. I went through a lot of, I had to really love on me and empower myself to push out that book because I knew the judgment was coming. And I could have said one minor thing out of all of my pages, and that would be the one thing they would.
Everybody hooked up. I can't believe you said. Did you hear what she said in that book?
Exactly.
She ought to be ashamed of herself. Right. But how'd you get through it? How'd you find the courage to just move forward and just say, okay, oh, well, the truth. I'm never going to apologize for the truth. It is the truth.
I moved on by I prayed a lot. I prayed a lot. And I felt like this is something that I had to do for me because I'm actually writing a book about doing things for other people, about people pleasing, about not knowing who I am, about thinking about other people's opinions. So, how dare I not put out something where I'm standing for myself?
Ooh.
And I felt like I had to be transparent because so often we have people who want to be influencers. However, you're closed. How can you be closed and transparent and want to help other people who are definitely going to be a bit timid and afraid to open up? You have to open yourself up. And when I talked to my father, I said, Dad, I know it's going to be a little tough to get through a couple parts. What I need you to do is to promise to just keep reading. And see, that's what happened. People read to a point and they didn't like what they saw and they didn't like what they were reading and they stopped. How's she gonna say that about him? How's she gonna put out there that he wasn't there at that moment at that time? Well, because he,
Because it
you know,
wasn't.
because he
Right.
was. And that's something that I think I needed and I could have really utilized in my life. Moving forward, no, I don't hold any grudges. I don't throw anything in his face. I love my dad because one thing I did learn growing up is that people are doing the best they can do at the moment that they're doing it in. No, it might not be the best to you. No, you don't think that that's a great idea. But right now, however life is coming at them, they are coping the best way they know how.
That's
No
right.
matter what they're doing, they're dealing with, that's how they cope. No, they shouldn't be in that relationship, but maybe that's the relationship that's keeping them alive right now because maybe if they were alone, they would do something different. Maybe, yes, they should not be doing those drugs or whatever, but maybe that's something that's helping to keep them alive and they'll get better.
What's beyond the drugs? What's
But
what's the
beyond,
layer underneath? What's the pain
yes, what's
that
happening
they're trying to numb?
that they're trying to deal with. Exactly. And I'm a firm believer that um everybody has a story. And we're
Yeah.
so quick to judge that if we just took a moment to hear someone's story, there isn't anyone that we couldn't be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I
Yeah.
had no idea. I do a training for this company called Front Porch Initiative, and we go into schools to help teachers and administration basically open up and get to know each other. And we have this icebreaker where people share out, and sometimes these people don't even get a chance to speak in the schools. Well, one time we found out that a lady was dealing with the passing of her husband. He
Mm-hmm.
was very ill prior to that. And she was still coming to school and people weren't knowing, but she was the one everyone was, she got an attitude problem. She's nasty.
Mm.
She's this, she's that. So instead, how about, hi, how are you doing today? And
Everything okay with you?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
we're so quick. And I'm just saying we because, overall, I'm not perfect either. Everybody, hey,
Girl.
mistakes and we all prejudge. Communication was my first degree. And when I read that the human, it's in our human nature to come up with 21 preconceived notions the minute we lay eyes on them. It's subconscious. It's not even, it's not, it's not, we don't consciously do it, but when we see someone, there are 21 things that we instantly start thinking about that person. And we have no idea who
Oh,
they are.
sorry. You're not doing a shameless plug yet, but we're gonna.
Yeah.
So okay, so dad reads the book,
Mhm.
and I know you're waiting on that call. And what did he say? And what kind of moment did it create for you two when the Band-Aid came off
Mhm.
and the next layer of healing began? Talk about that for a minute. Was that the moment it all came together? It all began to make sense, and it was truly, 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 truly worth it.
It definitely was. That was the key moment when I gave it to him on Father's Day. I gave him the book on Father's Day. I gave it to him prior to releasing it to the world. That way he was ready. And I believe the saving grace in that was speaking about my grandfather and his amazing legacy. I opened up with my father was born in Coy, Alabama. So, the roots of the history and family and love and hard work, I definitely, paid homage to that. But the moment my dad actually said, I'm proud of you, it just like opened up so much inside of me, because I feel like that is the one thing that I've been just wanting him to understand. Like, I'm a little girl, but I'm older and I get it now and it's okay. You know, I just want to move on from here. And that's why it was a defining moment, because it let me know that my father was actually open to building from here. So that was just
Right.
the very beginning. And
Well,
it
you
was
know,
very meaningful.
Shartia, I always tell people, actually, the people that coach with me know this, that the very first thing we do is we go back to the very beginning of the pain moments,
Mhm.
and we acknowledge and bring out the stories that each version of ourselves helped us live through.
Ooh,
Because, 4-year-old Loren helped
Dale.
57-year-old Loren, and when he didn't even know he was doing it.
Ooh.
Wherever I am standing, I look down and I see his tiny shoulders way down at the bottom, holding every version of me on top of the smallest set of
Ooh.
shoulders of all of the versions of myself. So
Ooh,
that
I
tells
love
me how strong and powerful that journey
it.
was for him, and he was for it way back at the beginning. It's
Yeah.
not in reverse. It's not the 50-something-year-old me on the bottom with everybody standing on mine.
Yes.
It's the little one.
I
So
love
I have to go
that.
back and pay homage and dedicate what's left of my life to every one of those versions by reinstating, giving permission for them to use their tongue,
Yes.
tell their story, unsilence them, and get it out, because I couldn't be here if
Yeah.
they hadn't shown up and showed out. It's the truth.
I
They
love
took on everything. We don't realize that, Chartia, that the
that.
little versions of us handled stuff that I don't think as adults we're even half equipped to handle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As children, you have such an open, free mind and free spirit that you don't really limit yourself to too much. And they aren't fully aware of repercussions and things that can happen. So they're kind of
Fearless.
fearless. Yes, we said it together. Absolutely.
Yep.
And and to speak to your point, my son, I talked to him about, what we're going through right now in the world. And I'm like, you are strong. I'm like, you are such a king. I'm like, because
I
I
love
have
that.
no idea what I would do or how I would feel if one day I'm at school, the next day you're at home for the rest of the year and maybe in the fall. Deal with it as an 11-year-old. Process everything that's happening in the world right now. You know, um,
Right.
so I definitely think that as children, we we have a certain power, innate power about us that we really don't know, that allows us to push to that next moment.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's why I go, with the Power We Symposium. That's my nonprofit, and dedicated to uplifting our young teen leaders from inner city areas, or
Love
any
it.
kid
I love
that
it. Yes.
is, at risk, because they're
Mhm.
all at risk.
Absolutely.
When they say special needs, well, every kid is special, and every kid has needs.
That's right.
Shit. And
That's right.
I cussed. I said
That's
shit.
right. Yeah,
Sure did.
that's all
So
I think.
there it is. So I get it. And a lot of our answers are inside of them. I love shoving the mic in the face of
Yeah.
kids and
Yeah.
asking them how they feel and what they
Mhm.
do. We did a special a couple of weeks ago, entitled Forgotten Voice. Has almost 10,000 views right now.
Wow.
And it 19 kids from across the country. The youngest was 4 years old, all the way to 24, talking about how this thing known as this pandemic is affecting them. And that 4-year-old has a thing on Symposium, Little Lennon, where he speaks to
Oh,
other toddlers about how to get over the nightmares he had about thinking the germs were out to eat mommy,
you know what? Love it.
and now his healing, his parents are just so proactive, and so that's why I say there's no excuses. People can sit around and say, "Oh, I ain't this that little nothing." He's 4 years old and over there talking to other 4-year-olds.
Over there
You know,
inspiring
and,
for
and
you.
right, inspiring people,
Mhm.
changing lives at 4
Yeah.
years old. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yes, I love
So
that too.
yeah. So let's talk about this. Tell people, what is this? What's this all about? The Love Jones Alliance Inc.
Yes. So I went through a process of rebranding basically, and the Love Jones Alliance Inc. is going to house my gifts basically. So when I attend speaking engagements and if I'm hosting or emceeing, this is the name of the company that it would be housed under. So Love Jones Alliance. I love my name. It's very common, but it's also a saving grace because my first name is very funny and long. Well, there's a funny story attached to how I got my name, but
Oh,
my
do
first
tell.
name is it's not complicated, but people transpose two letters, and so it
All the
looks,
time. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
it happened today on the screen.
yes. And but the last name is very common. So that's like I call that like my saving grace.
Oh, now she just got booted. Her internet, I knew something was up. Wait a minute, it's buffering. Let's see if she comes back. I'm gonna pull her out. Listen, you guys, I'm gonna wait for her to pop back in. Don't worry. I knew though, because she was pixelated the whole hour. But as long as we could hear, I was like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. So we are in the last few minutes of, I hope she can come back to say goodbye at least, of our guest today, who is Shartia Divine Jones, who from the Love Jones Alliance, Inc. And also, I'm going to pop her information up in case she doesn't make it back. Oh, it looks like she's back. Oh my goodness, my cats are running around like they lost their minds. Have fun, girls. ShartiaDivine.com. So you see that on the screen. Make sure you capture that. And is she back? Let's see. Nope. She's still not back. So anyway, her book, I'm going to pop that up again because there are a lot of people, you hear about mother, daughter, and this and that, but I don't think I hear too much, especially for women of color, African-American women in particular, about the relationship between them, the little girl that's still inside and lives inside all of you, with your dads, whether they were present or not. I think it has a lot to do with the kind of relationships our women have, or would like to have with the men in their lives. And so this book, Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story, is something I highly recommend you getting over. I know it's on Amazon. So if you go to Miss Divine's website, there's a tab there about the book. And she says that if you go there, it's going to take you right to the place on Amazon where you can pick up the book. So that's one, but this is where you want to go to get your copy of the book. Okay, now I see she went out. I think her internet went out. That's what I believe happened. And so we're just about at the end of the show anyway. So I do want to thank Shartia Divine Jones for coming aboard today and sharing with us something really powerful. And also, I wanted to talk to you guys and invite you to join me. Tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7 p.m. I have another senior moment. Yep. First, another senior. I have another Bathrobe Moments After Dark tomorrow night with a special guest. Her name is Giovanna Salas, and she is part of the Heart of Hollywood Cinema Company. And she is a producer, director, casting director, has worked on a ton of films that you are aware of, that you're familiar with. And so we're going to have her tomorrow night talking about how this pandemic has affected Hollywood and how she became a Latina woman who was at the top of her game in Hollywood. So we're going to have a Hollywood producer on here tomorrow night. And yes, I will be making everything that comes out of my mouth a mini audition. Sure will. You best believe. How many times I might look? I ain't too old while y'all playing. I told you, keep playing with me. I already know. I am going to have a show. Yes, Hasa Babaka. If I could speak in tongues, I'd claim it with some tongues. Gotta get a Honda. My show is going to be either on the left or the right of Jimmy Fallon. Watch what I tell you. Oh, she's back.
Hi.
Okay, and now you're all clear.
My apologies. Really?
No, yeah, you're clear. You were all pixelated. It was your internet. Your internet was messing with you. So
I apologize for that.
That's okay. We have about 1 minute left,
Sure.
And I wanted to give you a chance. If this was the Jerry Springer show and you were he, you get your final thought, your Jerry Springer moment too.
Okay.
And I always say it's like this. If everybody that was watching today or that will watch a replay got amnesia suddenly and forgot everything that came out of your mouth except for one thing, what would that one thing be that you would hope we all remember and take with us?
That would be that time is something that is precious and so uniquely present that we cannot truly grasp it or hold on to it or save it. But what we do with the time given is important. And to remember to remind yourself of love. To me, I always say love is a superpower. It is the only thing that can combat hate, evil, and all other negative energies that we embark upon. So it would be to embody love, to embrace love, and to show love at every moment possible. And the important thing about that is to remember to start here. Start here. So
with
often we're
yourself.
pushing it out here and we don't start here. So when we don't start here, not only do we not love ourselves, but we don't really know how other people should love us. And if we're even receiving the proper love in the way that we are to receive it, because we don't even know what it is to love ourselves.
That's true. I say that all the time. We are the best example to others of how to love us.
Yes. Yes.
Follow my lead. That's
Yes.
exactly right. Well, I want to show the book one last time. There it is. Daddy's Girl, A True Love Jones Story. Get out today and get your copy. You can get it at shartiadivine.com. Get over and follow the tabs. It's just that easy.
Yes.
Give it as a gift, whatever you have to do, but get it out there and get some new content into your life. You've got plenty of time to read, so do that. Shartia, I want to thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope to get you back sometime. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to reach out to you this morning. A couple of things I want to talk to you about, and I want to get Crystal Crockett's information into your hands. She wants to talk with you as well. So that's what it's all about. The promise, everyone, is that where two or more of us come together, not great things could, should, or might happen. Today and every day is proof that it will happen. Wherever you are, you're one. You can at least count up to two. You're one. Look around and ask the person closest to you, are you the other? And remember this, everybody. You can never be the blessing if you haven't found that closest mirror. Find the nearest mirror and look into it. If you can see a blessing, then you can be a blessing. I'm Loren Michaels Harris. I want to thank you for joining me. I'll see you here tomorrow morning when my guest, where's the list? There. My guest tomorrow is, Cedric Riley. Wait till you meet this young man, a powerhouse, fantastic speaker, a man of color, a father of three, a husband. He is fantastic. Show up, and we're going to show out right here tomorrow morning, God willing, at 8 a.m. Central. I'll meet you out on the front steps, and we'll come in and we'll do it all over again. Shartia, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. And thank you. Thank you to all your guests. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Stay in the green room. I'll talk to you as soon as we close out.
Okay.
Okay.